Good evening. Thank you very much for joining me here on Movie Ninja. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the Netflix comedy, action, adventure, mystery, thriller series, Wednesday. The series focuses on the magnificent macabre maiden, Wednesday Addams. After pushing her parents and the United States legal system to the brink, she is shipped off to a private school, Nevermore, full of students that are similar in certain supernatural aspects. Wednesday might not seem as formidable as some of her classmates, but what she lacks in certain supernatural abilities, she makes up for in sheer edge. Now, when she arrives at Nevermore, a wonderful mystery awaits her. There is a local creature, a monster, that has taken a habit of dismembering and disemboweling members of the local community. So, Wednesday, taking the initiative, takes it upon herself to act as detective and solve what this monster is and what it has to do with the founding of the school Nevermore, as well as if there are other conspirators involved with other mysteries about town as well. This is a surprisingly fun show. It's a good show. Jenny Ortega does a really good job of embodying I'm going to say the Christina Ricci-esque Wednesday Addams that most of us knew and grew up with in the 90s. The original Wednesday from the original series featuring John Aston was mostly, she was younger then. I think even younger than the depictions by Christina Ricci, but she was much more casual and nonchalant, whereas that Christina Ricci Wednesday was far more intense, and that is definitely the template that the actress took with this particular role. And it works incredibly well. And I have to say, the performance is surprisingly strong because being Wednesday, she's very stoic. But being that she is someone who is very adamant in everything that she believes, that stoicism is surprisingly bold. And I also credit not only to the actress's performance, but also the script writing. She is not someone who will yield to anyone, not her parents, not Nevermore administration, not Jericho citizenry, nothing. Nothing and no one will make Wednesday Addams yield to anything she does not wish to participate in or to acknowledge or to acquiesce. It will not happen. Will not. So that is the main strength of this series, being that, it's about Wednesday. We see her strengths, but also we get to see some of her weaknesses as well. When she gets to Nevermore, she is surrounded by supernatural classmates, vampires, gorgons, sirens, werewolves, and being that she's far more normal-ish. I say normal-ish because there's a bit of creative liberty. I mean, it's fiction. Fiction is malleable. We can do what, like the writers can do what they want. She is also showing growth as a character in certain ways that will help her solve all of these different mysteries. But being at Nevermore shows us the unexpected vulnerability that Wednesday Addams actually has. Now, that being said, once again, she is unyielding. She's very stony. She's very stalwart in everything that she, puts forth to others. She is not intimidated. She does the intimidating. Let that be clear. And so, as powerful of a character as she is not the apex predator at the top of the food chain, not at Nevermore. And I think that is something that the character needed. If she was just a prodigy Wunderkind, then I think it would have been boring. There have been certain accolades and parallels to Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Scooby-Doo. I can definitely see mood-wise how some people would maybe make those references. I say that Wednesday is its own thing. Like, you don't necessarily have the action of a Supernatural, Buffy, or like those types of like fantasy horror sort of like shows, whereas with this one it's focused on Wednesday trying to solve the mysteries of the monster of Jericho, as well as untangle the very troubled history of Jericho, the township, and Nevermore, the school that she now finds herself in. Because, of course, there's conspiracies aplenty, of course. Now, going with what I liked, there were also certain things that I didn't like as much. Particularly the route of the main story. So the main story and the main mysteries were often sidelined by the entanglements of Wednesday and her various peers, the students that she attends Nevermore Academy with. Either they are gunning for her so that they can prove that they're superior to the to the others, or they're trying to get into some kind of relationship. They're striving for friendship, either like platonic friendship, granted, or that they are trying to become romantically involved with her, whereas she is laser focused on her immediate goals are the only goals in mind to her. Like, she will not be deterred. I actually do appreciate that. But that being said, she, with her like razor sharp focus, she has to also lot out time to try and either utilize certain friendships as utilitarian partnerships, or to try and just navigate through the prospect of teenage romances. Bearing in mind that everybody in the show is well over 20, but just putting that out there. But still, it seems like where I think the audience would have demanded, or at least preferred, that she stay on track with just, hunting down clues and solving the mystery, the show demands that her attention be placed elsewhere. That being said, very similar to most of our high school experience, that, well, even when we're pursuing certain goals, life just bombards us with countless distractions. So I kind of understand why the writers decided to take it in the direction that they did. That being said, sometimes all of the various characters grappling and groping for Wednesday's attention did seem rather monotonous and tedious at times. Also, I just have to say this. Okay, with regards to the extended casting, Catherine Zeta-Jones as Morticia Addams, wonderful. Very, very good. Very, very good. Lo siento, Luis. Luis Guzman was not a good choice for Gomez Addams. He struggled considerably with most of his line reads. And this is he's been acting for, I think, as long as I've been alive. But he doesn't have the charm, the charisma. He doesn't have that black velvet smoothness that Gomez has. John Astin had a version of Gomez where he was bon vivant, and he was very peppy. Raul Julia, I think, actually gave us our best Gomez Addams to date. Rest in peace, obviously, but because he could play off the Addams Family humor, the weirdness, but he could also be the charming, debonair lover that that is the interplay between Gomez and Morticia. I never felt that with it wasn't just his vocal performance. He didn't have that physical presence. He wasn't loose and relaxed and charming. That's not him. That isn't him. I can appreciate that he is someone who does like physically he does resemble two. Like, there was a animated version of the Addams Family that came out in the 1990s. There was a little bit shorter and stocky, and I believe in the most recent CGI films they also model him in that way. So physically, I think the casting director or the people that were responsible, I think they were only going for physical appearance, perhaps. But I mean, it's like, and even it just, that in particular didn't work for me. So yeah, like the side plots, Luis Guzman, and oddly enough, the way that the mystery unfolds in episodes 7 and 8, this is an 8-episode season, by the way. The way that it unfolds, well, if anyone makes the comparison of Wednesday to Scooby-Doo, I have to say this. Wednesday Addams is no Velma. The way that the mystery unfolds, it reveals itself without Wednesday's insight or detective skills. And it actually kind of spirals in a way where Wednesday is kind of tripping over herself. And that I also did not prefer. So there was a lot that I did like about this. I really did. I loved the main actress's performance. I really do like the style. We also got to see, I believe, more of the world for like the Addams Family, because it's not just the Addams Family that are these these strange, ghastly, groovy sort of like characters, but we also see that there are more, like there's a community. They're, in the show, they're referred to as the Outcasts, but with regards to who they are, like this is these are their people, and so you see all these creatures that go bump in the night and all these different sort of like horror movies, sort of like monsters. They are people with their own community, and I really do like that. So the style, there's nothing wrong with the style of the show, and I think that maybe just a little bit of tweaking, that it could have gone from a good show to a great show. So overall, I would still give this a fairly strong recommendation. What about you all? Have you seen Wednesday? Did you like it? Let me know in the comments section down below. And thanks as always for joining me here on Movie Ninja. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.